Hello. I recently made this small anvil, or anvil shaped object, because a blacksmith will tell you that an anvil made from a piece of railway line isn't the best. But anyway, it's the best thing that I've got in my shop for hitting things on. So I made this predominantly on the 4x6 bandsaw. Now I've put a video out already showing that. So if you haven't seen that one, you might want to watch that. This video shows how I dealt with the machining of it on my small miller. It's an Elliott Omnimill 00, if you want to Google it. So I machined this, and this material is very, very tough. It's very tough. It just, if I tried to do anything with a high-speed steel tool, it just dulled it instantly. So I managed to basically make a fly cutter that used a carbide insert, and I did the majority of all the work, the facing of this face, the facing of this, there, that, and that face and that face with the fly cutter, because basically it was the only thing I could use. And when it came to these holes, I drilled them from the other side. Rather, I couldn't drill them like this because I got nothing that would reach down past. So I drilled them from the other side, and then I used the same fly cutter upside down and backwards to space these faces, and towards the end of the video you'll see how I did that. In other words, a novel use of the fly cutter, because as I said, the fly cutter was the only thing that would cut this metal. It's really, really tough. So anyway, I'll show you all the footage, and I'll just come back at the end to you know, round it up at the end. So let's have a look at the video. Cheers. Jumped over onto the lathe. This is a boring bar that I'm just going to do a spring pass. This is a boring bar that came in you know, one of those cheap sets from Banggood. So I thought what I'd do, what I thought I'd do is skim it down to 3/8, because I've got hang on just a sec, I'll get it out. Excuse me, I'll go and find it. I've got this thing that came with the milling machine, and it's set up at an angle, so I believe it's a fly cutter, and goes into the auto lock collet. So I'm going to modify this boring bar to fit into this, and hopefully I can use it to skim the face of the angle. Put the anvil in the milling machine, and I've used this chunk of metal which has been milled square before to line it against the back of the machine there, because the idea is I use this to face this, then I'll use a cutter to just trim that back face, and then I'll use a cutter to trim this front face. But on this one I want to just leave a little radius there. So that's the idea. Now I'm a bit worried because I've never used this before, but this is trying to undo the thing, so I'm going to just take a very, very gentle cut across there. I've never used a fly cutter before, this is a new one for me. That's that boring bar that I modified. So, wish me luck. It's a little fly cutter set up on the mill now. Once again, the mill's a bit messy. Oh dear, I'm terrible. I've took a couple of cuts. You can see actually there is quite a taper on this. The saw blade did cut off. I'm only taking very light cuts because the cutter would tend to undo if it dug in. so I'm just taking 5 down. See how it gets on. I've got an idea that the left hand side of the cutter takes a slightly deeper cut, in other words the head of the mill isn't trammed very well, but we'll see how it comes out. Back in a bit. Oh, I'll leave it running just for a minute. The finish is pretty good from this thing. I mean, that's a boring bar that I just modified to make a fly cutter, so, and it's part of a cheap set from Banggood. You know, it's alright. It'll make another noise in a minute because the other end, the left hand side will start touching now. Now, there. So on the last run I panicked a bit when I suddenly heard the noise change till I realised what it was. Right, I'll let that run to the end anyway. Well, run until it runs out. The cut's just kind of running out there because of the taper. When I cut down that long face I could see that the blade had pulled a tiny bit. Well, this is the effect, it's tapered down to that side. Still, we've cleaned up nearly halfway, so we're getting there. That's that. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a check that the tool is still tight. Back in a sec. Getting there, about 3/4 of the way across. Taking 6 down. I had to revisit the clamping. It was wobbling a bit, but it's coping okay. I think that insert is a bit dull now, but I'm just sort of using it rough. And what I'll do, I'll change and put a fresh tip on it. And before I, you know, when I clean up the last little bit. Getting there though. Certainly easier than trying to use the lathe. Right, it all just come grinding to a halt. The thingy bob's unscrewed here. The auto lock collet is unscrewed. Luckily the belt slipped and the tool's dug in there. So I need to kind of, but I've done really well. So I think if I get it all set up again, probably turn the tool around, I'm not sure. I can probably finish it. I think it's just, I just need to check that the tool is, that this is tight at the end of every cut. I'll tighten it up and see if it'll keep going. We'll say that's broke then. I'll have to put a new tip in it, obviously. It's close to being cleaned up now. Only those saw cuts where I had to do that hand sawing at the end. This might clean up on this pass. Might just. Maybe one more. After every couple of strokes I've tested that the collet is still tight. I think I'll probably do one more pass after this. I'll check it's tight. I might even... The dog's having a complete yamp. I'll maybe even turn the blade round, turn the tip round. Just did a stupid thing. Forgive me, the neighbour's mowing the lawn, can't help that. I just did a stupid thing. I thought I'll turn the tip round, took it out, got the airline, blew off the thing. I had this in my hand and the tip in my hand. I blew it in my hand and the screw went down there somewhere. God knows where it's gone. I have had a look, but I've had to pinch the screw out of another tool now. Oh well, never mind. That's actually just a pass at the same setting. This material is quite tough. Making little sparks. That's actually a spring pass, but with the tip turned round. It is taking a cut. The workpiece is actually quite warm. Anyway, it's got rid of the last of those little saw cuts. The surface finish actually, I need to have a proper look from a good angle, but that'll do. Oh, it doesn't look too bad actually. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Nice. Looks nice. Got a decent reflection on it. I think that'll do. Took a bit of getting there. It crashed twice. Took a bit of getting there, but not bad. A lot easier than trying to, like I said, trying to do it in lathe. I've done one of these before, and I machined this in the lathe, and this has come out much better. And believe it or not, was much quicker as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. Now, in theory, this face is true, so I'm going to true that up. Then I'm going to true this one up as well. I was going to try and leave a radius on the end, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I've ended up coming slightly lower than I expected. Lower than on the first one I made anyway. Anyway, not bad, not bad. I've done a couple of passes down this back side here, back face, and the I did 10 thou cut and then a 5 thou cut on the climb on the back, and you can still see the saw cuts just in the middle there. So I'll do another 10 thou cut, see if it'll clean that up. I've done that cut on the back face there. It ain't great though. The finish is not, the surface finish isn't very good. So but you know, it's finished, it's true. I might try maybe another cutter, treat that as just a roughing pass. Let's see what happens. I'm going to have a go at cleaning up that face there. I'm going to just clean it up until it comes just about there, so just leave that little bit of radius there, and I'll hand finish it with a file then. Just put a 20 thou cut on. I haven't got coolants as such, all I've got is oil. expect that to dig in quite so much there. That's on the same setting. Just do a small cut, 5 there. I need some oil now. That hasn't cleaned up, we'll have to do another one. Cleaned up a bit better actually after that spring cut. That's not too bad actually, I might leave it at that. I think that'll do. That'll do. There's the faintest bit just at the top edge there, but what I intend to do is to file that. Just put a very slight radius on it. So I'll have a square edge there and a slightly radiused edge there. What I might try and do now is twist it all round and clean these faces up so they look nice. Got a bit of clean up to do. Not very, doesn't look good, does it? What a mess. I've hopefully got it squared up to this face. Just put 15 thou on there. It's cutting heavier right at the end. It's cutting slightly heavier towards the top, although it is touching at the bottom, so that saw cut was pretty square, to be honest. .15 thou. That's cleaned up about 3/4 of the way down. does take quite a cut on the way back, so it's springing quite a bit. That's actually cleaned up. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I'm using the shadow of the edge to kind of get a rough alignment like that. Don't even know if you can see that, but using the shadow against the T-slot there. And what I'll do, I'll just see how much clearance there is to the cutter there. That'll do, close enough for government work. Look at that, 12-inch Barco, Sweden, Bridlington car boot sale, £5. Now this is interesting because it's touched at the top at the front there and the bottom down there, so again that method of lining up, you know, was quite good, wasn't it? Let's try 15th now. Touching about the top 3/4. Pretty good, really. $15th there. Done about 90% of it. I'm surprised at how much it takes on that Klein mill spring pass. Just shows that there is quite a lot of flex in everything. $15th there. I'll just see a few saw cuts down on the left. So, thank you for watching part 1 of the milling, which is part 2 of the series. click on the link in the description for part 2 of the milling. Thank you very much.